Hey guys, Mike from Mike's Gaming Gala here, and today we're going to chat a little bit more about the AtariAge store announcement, as some more news has come out that may possibly be related and hopefully give some more insight as to why AtariAge has made this change and why it's happening now. First though, for clarification to anyone who may be confused, the AtariAge store is not closing down. They're discontinuing unlicensed games. Obviously, there are potential legal issues with distributing unlicensed titles, but why now? There was a comment on my last video where someone said that there's not much money in these old IPs, specifically in games for older systems, so companies should just allow people to make these games and turn a blind eye. Well, yeah, that's been happening for the last 20 years or so, with a lot of this stuff. And when there's no money to be gained in shutting it down, it's very unlikely that a company is going to care. For instance, in the overall 2023 gaming landscape, Pac-Man is a pretty irrelevant IP. Ports and remasters for a small but dedicated community keeps Pac-Man more in the public eye, and since there's no benefit to stopping people from using it in this way, it's easy to turn the other cheek and just accept it as free advertising. That said, with the Atari VCS, the Intellivision Amico, and all the press that's been coming up in the retro gaming community, I think some of these companies are starting to see that there may potentially be some cash to be made. So what changed that would make Albert make this call now? Well, I saw something on the Facebook page this past weekend that I think may fill in some blanks as to the timing of this. We all know that Atari has been releasing some 2600 compatible games on cartridge. And it seems that they're developing an add-on for the VCS that would play original carts. Now, obviously this is secondhand information, but it would make sense. And if that's the case, it would definitely put anyone who manufactures games for that system in the spotlight. So with this news, I can think of a few different scenarios that may have happened. Number one, Albert was given a heads up that in the future, Atari will be acquiring more licenses and producing more games with those IPs. So he was told that he needs to wrap up sales of games that are infringing on those copyrights if he wants to avoid trouble in the future. Seeing the writing on the wall, he made the call to remove everything unlicensed from the site. Number two, AtariAge may want to work with Atari on making some original homebrew titles official releases for the new add-on. A requirement for that would be that AtariAge has to go fully legitimate. Number three, Albert simply just sees that with all this, the writing is on the wall and wants to avoid any potential legal issues. Number four, Albert received a cease and desist letter from an IP holder. This one is very unlikely. I'm a member of the replica prop community where we produce our favorite props from film, television, and video games. In fact, I have a full-size Han Solo in carbonite just outside that door. And as a part of that community, I've seen a lot of cease and desist letters when people try to get too big. None of them say anything like, in 1 month's time or by this date. They're always immediate, and if you comply with them, you have no issues. Or, number five, like he said, he just really wants to focus on original titles. That's where his passion is, that's what he wants to do, and it's as simple as that. Honestly though, with how this has come to pass and the time frame in which it's happening, I find this one very as likely as well. I'm sure one day we'll know, but either way, AtariAge is a huge hub for the programming community, as well as the gaming community on a whole. So at the end of the day, anything Albert feels he has to do to keep that safe, I support. AtariAge will be focusing on original licensed titles from now on, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me to see some other publishers start to follow suit. Especially if my hunch is correct and Albert knows that there's going to be some kind of crackdown in the coming months. This could be the time that much of the homebrew community becomes more legitimate, which, while it's unfortunate for us who love ports and remasters, it could also mean that in the coming years, homebrew may become more than just new stuff for old systems, but rather official releases. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on things after some more pondering. What do you guys think's behind all of this? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time on Mike's Gaming Gala.